This is $1 billion. Well, its representation, that is. These are $8 billion. Again, only representation. Now, take one of those $1 bills and turn them into a ton of plastic, like an actual metric ton. And now, since plastic isn't very heavy, that's a lot of plastic. Now do that with every single one of those $1 bills, and that is what humanity has achieved. We have manufactured and dumped more than 8 billion tons of plastic. That, in weight, is more than 800,000 times the Eiffel Tower, or 25,000 times the Empire State Building. This is a pyrolysis machine. No, it's more than that. This is a solution, one that works, one that helps, one that actually does something. Plastic takes a path. That path goes from the people who manufacture it, to the people who sell it, to the people who use it, and finally to the people who dispose of it. But disposing is a very bendable term and can vary from things like dumping it onto landfill, dumping it into the ocean, or just incinerating it. And yes, you can incinerate something in a clean way. There will always be a little bit of carbon dioxide that escapes, and also other things like hydrochloric acid, sulfur dioxide, dioxins, furans, and other heavy metals, which none of those sound really healthy, do they? So, to solve plastic, we have to take a path, just like plastic does. That path has 3 steps, and yes, 3 steps on average is less than 2.5 meters, but those are big steps, hard steps, long steps, but they're necessary. First step is linked with the production. We have to stop, or at least minimize plastic production and consumption, since we can't clean up a mess that steadily grows bigger. The second step is to collect all the plastic we've dumped over the ages. And the third step is to dispose of all that plastic, and I mean properly dispose of it, without making other problems. Until now, we've just made other problems, or made already existing problems even bigger. So, the past semester I've been focusing on the third step, and you might say, hold on, didn't you say we have to start from the beginning? Well, it's not like I'm the only person who knows about this problem, really. There's constantly people trying to make substitutes for plastic, or companies trying to clean up the oceans. Here's an example of some. So, I thought, why don't we have one? We as Green School. No, never mind. Sorry. So, in the 1950s, pyrolysis was invented, which involves heating things up in the absence of oxygen to break down long molecules. Now, there's a lot more to it. We have limited time for our quest speech. So, it was found out that you can use this pyrolysis to turn plastic back into things like diesel, marine oil, propane, and kerosene, which, if you think about it, free money. Well, nothing in life is free, but it is insanely cheap. So I thought, why don't we have one? We as Green School, always trying to be so sustainable and eco-friendly. Turns out there's right now a pyrolysis machine waiting to be imported to Bali, to Green School. Well, since about the size of the Green School kitchen, to a facility nearby. So I thought, life can't be that easy, can it? And I did some research. Turns out that pyrolysis machine can't process all types of plastic. The 2 plastics it can't process are polyvinyl chloride and polyethylene terephthalate. Try saying that after a drink. So, anyway, PVC isn't really commonly used. If it's used in industrial purposes, usually for pipes. But how much PET is there, I wondered? And I started digging, literally. I was digging through trash and found out that more than 25% of all plastic is PET. It's in plastic bottles, it's in wrappings, it's in containers, it's everywhere. But on the bright side, PET is one of the most recyclable plastics out there. So, do you know the sustainability compass? Probably the fact that you are here answers that question with yes. For those of you that don't know, it's a compass you go to if you want to make something sustainable, rather than to find your way out of a maze. So, since we're talking about pyrolysis, let's see if it has any more flaws. So, N, north, nature. Right now, nature is fighting a very good friend of ours, and yes, you guessed it, it's plastic. Plastic, after it has been used, is useless. We throw it away, throw it into nature, let nature take care of it. Now, yes, we do recycle plastic, but all recycled plastic is going to end up dumped one day. So, imagine a world where plastic is fossil fuels for governments, or money for companies. Do you think anyone would still throw it into nature? I don't think so. Now E, East, economy. Right now we have a bit of a problem. And yes, another problem. By 2060, this world will run out of fossil fuel. But yes, we are transitioning to things like electric cars and nuclear power plants, but that isn't happening fast enough. And only 26% of all fossil fuels are used for transportation. Now, plastic pyrolysis isn't going to solve that, but it's going to give us time. So we'll be able to rely on fossil fuels for just a bit longer. If we would take all the plastic right now that we have dumped out there and turn it into oil, it would make about 35 billion barrels of oil. That's around 5 trillion liters. Now, historically, the oil price is quite low. It's at around $30 per barrel. But it would still make $1 trillion. That's a 13-digit number. And if you think about it, the more we're going to run out of fossil fuels, the more expensive they are going to get. Now S, South. Society. This isn't going to change society nearly as drastically as it's going to change nature and economy. But I thought, what is something we at Green School do to fight against plastic pollution? We go for trash walks. Now imagine if on future trash walks, we'll have a machine accompany us that will properly dispose of all the plastic we collected, and everyone that participated in the trash walk will be able to go home with a fully fueled car. Right now here in Ubud, I live in a community, Living Light. And imagine if every community, or even every house, had a couple collectors standing around for beautiful machines to process. So in the morning, we can fill up our cars with diesel, yes. Anyways, I built one of these collectors, and you might say, hold on, but aren't those PVC pipes? Now, yes, they are. And PVC is bad, but since we won't be able to just put it in our machine, we'll have to find another solution for that. And until then, we'll have to keep recycling it. Now, these pipes come from a multitude of failed projects, including a potato rifle / cannon. Now, W, West, well-being. If I'm going to the beach in Bali and not seeing any plastic right now, unless someone cleaned it up, that's quite rare. Now imagine a world where that isn't rare, where plastic be worth a lot, so it'd have no reason to lay around. This is the power of pyrolysis. Thank you for watching.